Hi guys, thanks for tuning in to ForgottenWeapons.com. I'm Ian McCollum and I'll be your host on the channel. This is the state of the channel for 2019. And this is just a little explanatory video. It'll be the channel video trailer for what you can expect to see here. So, what is Forgotten Weapons? Forgotten Weapons is an apolitical exploration of the mechanics and the history of interesting and unusual firearms. So, I post a video every single day, and the core of the channel are prototypes, experimental firearms, guns that you probably haven't heard of. Although we will also touch on some of the more common firearms. But in my opinion, you kind of have to understand the guns that didn't see common service in order to really understand the ones that did. So, the guns that you see here are going to be predominantly military, but they do include commercial firearms when applicable, especially when they're mechanically interesting, like the Evans. They will include, say, unusual factory production guns, again, mostly military, but not exclusively military. They will certainly include unusual and interesting sorts of conversions, like Chinese conversion of the Bren gun to 7.62 by 39. All of these things I consider valid material for Forgotten Weapons. In addition to videos about specific guns, I also have a variety of other educational firearms content on the channel. Things like Q&A videos, sometimes with guests with particular expertise, a weekly series of book reviews. So I have a fairly extensive reference library of firearms books that I work from, and so between ones that have been out for a while and books that are being newly published, I like to try and bring those to you so you have some idea what kind of reference material is out there that you may or may not be interested in. Naturally, of course, I don't own all of these firearms myself. I work with a variety of different people and organizations to have access to them to bring to you guys. These include museums, both in the United States and internationally, private collectors, again, both in the United States and internationally, auction house companies that, again, in the United States and internationally, companies that put together or that get large collections of interesting firearms and then auction them off. It's a nice symbiotic thing. I'm able to bring them some publicity, and they provide an awful lot of very interesting guns all in one place where I can film them and bring them to you guys. And of course, also even military and police agencies that I'm able to work with periodically. So a wide variety of sources for this. I don't actually own all of the guns that you're going to see here, which does lead to another point. The focus of the channel is not on shooting. Whenever I have the chance, I do try to shoot, in particular, guns that are interesting, that have interesting feedback to be gotten from shooting. But it is typically not possible. Most of the time when firearms are in a museum collection, or often when they're in a private collection, it's simply not practical or not possible to actually go out and try shooting them. So we have that content when possible, but it's not the focus of the channel. We have some really cool stuff coming in 2019 that I can tell you about, some that I can't tell you about yet, but I know you'll be excited to see. Have some collaborations planned for 2019 that are going to be pretty awesome. You'll be seeing the rest of the footage that I filmed at the H&K Grey Room. You saw some of that last month in December, but the rest of it will be published in 2019. I have an entire trip to the Royal Armouries, what's called the Pattern Room Collection in the UK that you'll be seeing this year, as well as hopefully another trip to the Royal Armouries for some additional filming this year, although that's not entirely finalized yet. I'm very excited that I have my own book coming out this year. It is not just regurgitated blog entries. It is, in fact, a from-scratch technical reference guide to French military firearms, which is perhaps a bit of a niche subject, but I think a particularly interesting one that has gotten very little attention. And I'm really excited to have that book out. So that you can get all the information on that at FrenchRifleBook.com. We have an email list for updates and such there, notify you when the book goes on pre-sale. Hopefully it will be available. I'm anticipating late spring this year, maybe a little earlier than that if possible, but definitely by early summer. So that's very exciting. I'll also be guiding a World War I battlefield tour in France in September of 2019. So that's going to be a really cool experience where, in addition to the folks who are actually coming along on that, you can sign up at milltours.com if it's not already filled up. We're also going to be filming, I think, some really cool historical footage during that trip as well. So that'll be coming to the channel late in the year. When I originally started ForgottenWeapons.com about 10 years ago and then expanded it into a video channel about 8 years ago, one of the core tenets of the whole project was that there would be no paywall, that this would be a permanent, publicly accessible archive of information for anyone and everyone who is interested. And to that end, there is, in fact, no paywall. Publish videos on a daily basis, and I have done that for a couple years now. And that is all thanks to the direct financial support of you, the viewers who appreciate and enjoy it. So I use Patreon. Any services that come into being during 2019 that do the same sort of thing as Patreon, I will probably also be joining. Can't really comment on that here at the beginning of the new year because none of those things exist right now. So Patreon is a fantastic way for you to help support Forgotten Weapons. There are a number of different perk levels. I'll let you check those out at patreon.com/forgottenweapons if you're interested in them. In addition to that, you can also support the channel by doing things like buying a copy of my book when it comes out, if it's a subject that interests you, or checking out the merchandise shop that we have. There are posters, there are t-shirts, hoodies. We are actually adding patches this year, which is going to be kind of cool. We're going to go a little bit different sort of theme on some of the patches than we have on some of the other merchandise. But any of that you find interesting or appealing or practical or useful, of course, part of the proceeds from that come to me and they help fund the channel. So check it out, see if there's anything you like there. And ultimately, what really drives the success of the channel is your interest, watching, subscribing, and sharing with your friends. So thank you very much to everybody, and here's to a successful and happy 2019.